your host, Mike the Fantasy Addict, with co-host Nikki B.
That is me.
He's a little under the weather, but he's powering through for you.
We'll get there.
That's all right. I'm used to carrying.
This is more of a you show than me show.
That's what
tonight
the people
anyway.
want. We're just giving you what you want.
Is it?
So tonight we are getting, I don't know about you, but I'm just losing my mind with excitement for the NFL draft.
I think it's you.
Cannot wait. I have watched 100 mock drafts. I've been diving into it, trying to learn about everybody. So I'm going to share what I've learned with you. We're going to do an NFL mock draft for the upcoming real NFL mock draft, which I want to say is the
real
April
NFL
29th
draft.
NFL. Oh, yes, the real draft.
Exactly.
All right.
No drills here.
No.
This is not a drill.
If you screw it up, you screw it up for the next how many years of your team?
I don't know. Just ask the Bears.
All right.
We'll do it live.
So we're going to jump into it. We are using a NFL mock. So this is an NFL mock draft simulator.
Okay.
This is PFN mock draft. So we're going to throw it up so you can see the players on the side there. And we're going to jump right into it. So with the first pick in the NFL draft, I've made some drops for the teams. So
okay.
So I'll tell you.
We'll just test them out.
Jacksonville, Florida.
Not a
lot of sound drops about Jacksonville. So I just went with
Jaguar noise.
Florida in general. Not just a Jaguar. Have you seen the show?
Yeah.
Here's what we got in honor of Florida.
Florida man finds World War II grenade, places it in his truck, and drives to Taco Bell.
It felt right.
I'm not sure how that applies, but I mean, I get it.
It's Florida. Florida man.
Nothing in Florida makes sense.
They get better. So,
oh man,
Jacksonville with the first pick in the NFL draft takes Trevor Lawrence. Everybody expects that, so we won't talk about it. Great quarterback prospect. Hope it works out for him. Hope he helps your other fantasy pieces on the Jacksonville Jaguars if you got any. All right, the next one up, we have the New York Jets on the clock.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of
the Bears
sucks
drop
ever
as well?
sucked.
So it could, again, it may change hands.
This could be for a lot of people.
So if you haven't watched the show, that has been our Jets drop all year. But maybe with these picks, they turn it around. So they take Zach Wilson, quarterback out of BYU. Probably not the one that I would go with. He is maybe the youngest looking quarterback I've ever seen, but
Jets fans are hype.
We won't count it against them.
Jets fans are hype.
Maybe that just means he can have a long career, but that seems to be penciled in everywhere. Is that the Jets are going?
Banjo Welcome was expecting a very British pronunciation of Jaguar.
So
I don't hate it.
Fun fact,
we can change these.
Looked up that sound drop, and it is from a very obscure SNL skit with Will Ferrell where he is like a spy at a bar. Again, I had Jaguar, but just didn't have the same punch without the full skit context. But Jaguars.
Wilson, best QB in the draft says pocket pool.
Interesting take.
I think that's controversial.
A little bit. He had maybe one of the best pro days, and I think that's what helped vaulted him up here.
Well, I think, too, with Trevor, when you get so much hype, you get a lot of doubters at the same time. Not everybody wants to go with the flow and say he's a generational quarterback. People want to be right, and they want to be right for taking the opposite line. So I understand. Wilson may be the best quarterback. We'll see. Well, and honestly, Trevor may be a really good NFL quarterback, but maybe not so much for fantasy. I mean, there's a lot of differences there as well.
Yeah, and we had spoke, I think you said that Schefter had texted Zach Wilson, like, congratulations on being drafted by the Jets already.
Right.
So Schefter's usually in the know. Speaking of Schefter, he projected that the next team on the list, the San Francisco 49ers.
Francisco, that's fun to say.
The San Francisco 49ers are going ahead, and a lot of people have them as taking Mack Jones here. So Mack Jones out of Alabama.
Okay. Is that what we're doing?
So I'll tell you, that's not what we're doing because I don't believe it. So are you ready to dive into the rabbit hole of the conspiracy?
What is it?
All right. So apparently the Shanahans have a quarterback camp, and the guy on the picture in the background for the website of the quarterback camp, Justin Fields, the quarterback that I think they're actually taking.
Okay.
I think they talked to the Jets, found out they were taking Zach Wilson because their actual coach now is Sally, I believe. Again, I've heard it said different ways.
Right.
Who came from their coaching staff. So I think he told them, yep, it's not a smokescreen. We're really taking him. So they know they can get Fields. That's why they traded up to number 3. I don't think they're taking Mack Jones because I don't think they would have needed to trade up to 3. I think they could have easily gone to 4 with Atlanta and given up less.
I mean, Mack Jones been projected as late as, earlier this season, like 15 to 18 to maybe the Bears. So 3 or 4 seems pretty high for Mack Jones.
I've got him falling in this draft we're going to talk about. This whole draft also, no trades in this one. So I think that if they do take Mack, there's a very good chance that someone like the Bears or Denver or the New England Patriots will trade up to that 4th spot and try and take
the Falcons, yeah.
Fields or Lance.
Dubfire, yay. Football addicts assemble.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
we're here.
We are. And Nick is toughing it out. I made him do the show even though he's sick. But we've had
just slept for 4 hours.
Children being born and sicknesses, and we can't miss 2 in a row.
Another. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. We're
missed
here.
You.
We're here for the people.
We are. We missed you. So the next one I've got on this one, I'll say if Atlanta does not trade the pick, they take Trey Lance, quarterback of the future. Trey would be a good pick for them because he could sit behind Matt Ryan for a little while.
So you think quarterback?
I think that quarterback, even if Atlanta trades, because the team that'll trade with them will be wanting a quarterback.
We're not going to go with the 5-piece, though, with the Bengals up next.
We are not. So the next one we got for the Atlanta Falcons, I can't even remember what drop I put. So here's the Atlanta drop. I think it's just a Georgia drop.
I'm moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches.
It made me so happy to just make these stupid drops.
Oh, my
All right,
goodness.
so that is the Atlanta, Georgia, Georgia Falcons.
So there's that.
All right, next one we got.
What's going on, Eli? Welcome in.
The Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock at number 5.
I saw Tiger.
Thanks for the sub, Eli.
All right.
That's 7 months on a 4-month streak.
That's why we got to keep getting out here and putting out this content.
All right, we're making that bread.
So we appreciate you. That's why we've been trying to put out some shows through the off season here. Again, when we get back to the regular season, we'll be putting out 2 a week. We'll do Sundays and Mondays, I believe, is still the plan for us.
For sure.
So Sundays during the early game and Mondays.
Cincy auto pick O lineman. Pretty much.
That's what we got for him. Penny Sewell, a lot of people's top prospect as far as offensive tackle.
It's supposed to be a semi-deep offensive tackle or offensive
and there are a couple
tackles
that we'll touch on. Because it's more of a fantasy football show, we won't go too deep into kind of some of those non-skilled players and the defensive pieces, but I'll just give you a quick overview.
Touch on them, or are we going to tackle
We'll touch on them. Well, we'll tackle them. Just
see what I did.
I do see what you did there.
All right.
So Penny Sewell, Cincinnati.
Makes sense. Honestly, I like this a lot for Mixon. I like it a lot for Burrow. I like it a lot for T. Higgins.
And that was what I was going to touch on. So these offensive guards and tackles, centers, good to know for fantasy because it does help. I agree the same thing. If they do go ahead and take Jamar Chase, which there's some smoke that former quarterback that was thrown to him in college, Joe Burrow, wants his former wide receiver.
I get it.
I get taking him here. Everybody's high on Jamar Chase, but
Jamar Chase rocking it up dynasty draft boards too.
That's true.
1-1 now. They're calling him the 1-1 over the running backs.
That's interesting. It'll depend on where he lands.
If he goes to Cincinnati, I like it.
Do you with Higgins and Boyd there? It's still again.
Chase is just on another level.
All right, so
just another level.
Burrow, he's got to get healthy and get back here, but I think they need somebody to protect him. So Penny Sewell, I got him going there, and I do have it helping Mixon out.
For sure.
Next one on the list, we have the Miami Dolphins. Told you got better.
Yep. There we go.
And they take your boy Jamar Chase. I think a lot of people like that there. They did sign Will Fuller in free agency, but he loves to miss games.
That's all he does.
And I believe it's only a 1-year deal. Is it a 1-year deal for him?
Yeah, I don't think it was a multi-year.
So Jamar Chase.
And he's still got to play. Does he still have suspension games he's got to?
I believe he has 1 game suspension at the start of the year. All right, so Miami takes Jamar Chase. After that, we have the Detroit Lions.
One second. Of all the Jamar Chase landing spots, don't love the Dolphins. I mean, I get there's not a whole lot of competition there, but
people don't love Tua.
I don't love Tua.
I think that's kind of the thing that could trip up Miami. They've got a lot of picks. They've got some young talent. Their defense was on the rise. And it's really going to come down to
Tua equals not a good passer.
what does Tua equal? And maybe
poor Chase, Tua throwing him the ball in his pocket. Exactly.
But hey, if anybody could help Tua out, I'd like him better with Chase. And again, he was highly touted before this past year. Came in with an injury. He was still kind of getting to know the ropes. It was a COVID year. Fitzpatrick was there.
Alabama quarterbacks, though.
I'm not full out on Tua yet. I know that everyone that has ever watched our show is, but I'm gonna hold out a little bit of hope for him. All right. Especially if Chase is there. Next one we have the Detroit Lions. So again, with the division rivals, I try not to be just full spiteful and make all their drops like we're the worst team in the world. So here we go, Detroit. Little kiss for you.
Gotcha.
So Detroit goes ahead, and they also need wide receiver help, and they take Devonta Smith, wide receiver out of Alabama, the Slim Reaper.
Slim Reaper.
And if there's ever a place where he could go and fail, it would be the Lions, right?
Payton says, how close was Pitts over Chase there for the Dolphins? I think NFL teams are going to be higher on Pitts than us fantasy football watchers, and he very well could go before Chase just because he's that much of a mismatch essentially. So,
but that is a good question. I've seen a lot of drafts that have him mocked either to Atlanta at 4 or to Cincinnati or to Miami. So any of those teams could take him. I just think that the NFL doesn't have a great history of guys that were taken high at tight end being the best producers. The best producers now, Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, they were all taken later in drafts. I think you can take a shot at him. There are a ton of people that are very high. I think actually kind of, if you watch the other shows, the higher ranked shows with 1 million viewers, all those guys are just like, Pitts, take Pitts with your first pick in the dynasty draft. Take Pitts, with the first pick in the NFL draft. And I think he's just overhyped. He's got,
could be, the problem is if you're wrong, you're going to be wrong big.
Yeah.
You'll be wrong big.
But again, tight ends, are they as important as a wide receiver? You can make
Kelsey,
a case. But they could use him out in the slot. They could do all kinds of different things with him. He's versatile. He's talented. People think he's going to be a generational talent. But I think that Jamar Chase has the safer floor.
Devontae Smith, again, I'm not a believer. Again, it's one of those things. I'm not saying he can't do it. It's just nobody with his body type ever has.
How late in a dynasty rookie draft would you take him if he goes to the Lions? 6 or lower, or no? Are you still taking him at 6?
I would take Chase, Najee, Etienne, Williams, Pitts. Yeah.
All right, kind of in that range still if he's on the Lions. I could see him falling a little bit depending. All right, so Kyle Pitts, everybody's like, well, what about Kyle Pitts? He's supposed to be pretty good. He ends up on the next team that we got here, the Carolina Panthers, taking Kyle Pitts, tight end from Florida, at the number 8 spot. And spin it over your head. All right, so
Pocket says Atlanta will draft Pitts. Lance will go to Denver. Potentially, if Atlanta drafts a tight end, they just have a history of having really good tight ends. I mean, it's one of those things. It's weird about football. Bears always have a good running back and good linebackers. I mean, it's just kind of these teams have an identity, and there's just good tight ends. And again, I think it's kind of worked its way into just the group thought that he's going to go a little bit higher. But Ryan can throw the ball.
Again, Miami, they've got Gesicki. Atlanta, they've got Hayden Hurst, and both of those. I know you can have 2 wide receivers or 2 tight end sets. I know that a lot of people believe that Pitts is better than both of those guys by a mile. But
I've heard Pitts to Detroit too.
Again, I think that those teams could
I think Pocket alluded to.
I think both teams could benefit from kind of the other guys maybe a little bit more quicker. But
right, and Pocket says Pitts and Hawkinson combo in Detroit would be awesome. And again, if they can use Pitts as that, big wide receiver like Kelsey, and Hawkinson can play the usual tight end roles.
Can you name another tight end on the Lions besides Hawkinson? I don't know who. I know they had that one.
I think Pocket's reeling from the Hernandez Gronk days. When they were just wrecking the league with 2 big old tight ends.
Again, I don't think that a team will trade up high enough to get Pitts. It's not the kind of move that teams generally make to get a tight end, but
if he's going this high, you don't get picked this high and not get used.
But again, he's a highly touted prospect. Next one on the list,
Bronchies.
number 9. So this one I went kind of defense. I know that they've got a defensive scheme going there. Remind me of their coach. It was Fangio, was the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears.
That's for the Broncos.
He is the coach in Denver, and I had to dig a little bit deeper for this one.
Okay.
Let's go. Broncos. Let's go, Broncos. Let's go.
You're welcome.
Interesting.
So that is from South Park, actually, which is set in
Colorado.
Denver, in Colorado, not in Denver, South Park, Colorado.
Indeed.
So they go ahead and they take the first defensive player off the board, Micah Parsons, outside linebacker from Penn State. There's a little bit of kind of some off-field concerns from his past. He was named in a lawsuit. I don't know if it was hazing kind of thing, but
I feel like everybody's named in a lawsuit now.
Yeah, well,
you're the whole Aaron Donald thing too.
Quarterback. I did, but you'd have to remind me for me to.
Somebody accused him of assault, and then the next day they're like, "Oh, just kidding."
I heard it was along the lines of they picked the fight with him.
Yeah, they smashed a bottle over his head or something or on his back.
What?
Some crazy.
Can you imagine being the guy who smashed the bottle over his head? His friend. Why did you do that?
Yeah,
that is a
Aaron,
shot.
He will
murder us all.
Exactly.
And then he proceeded to just kill everyone in the bar for fun.
No problem.
But wouldn't be a move that I would recommend. But Just kind of shore up that defense.
Broncos and linebackers. That's what they do.
And it makes sense
on the defense, for sure.
If they don't trade up to get a quarterback, I know that in their pro day, Mack Jones, if he did fall to them, I did hear some rumors that they are not big Mack Jones fans. So just something to think about. Next one, we have the Dallas Cowboys. And
this is where Pitt should be going.
we actually have them going with a cornerback, first cornerback off the board, Patrick Surtain. A lot of mocks have him ending up there. I watched a little bit of Surtain, and he's a real fluid moving guy. He kind of looks like a cat. He's got that stalking look. I think he's going to be a ball hawk.
Like a cat.
I'll show you the tape though, but he's just kind of like where he's like prowling and he looks sneaky and he just moves quick, like just a burst. All
right.
So yeah, curious like a cat.
Okay.
So
I don't hate it.
A lot of the mocks that I've looked at do have Dallas taking a cornerback, best cornerback available. Next one, we got the New York Giants. So I've seen a lot of people kind of projecting a wide receiver to the Giants. They did just sign Kenny Galladay, and I think they need some more some defensive help. So I have them taking inside linebacker, which they might go edge, but Jeremiah Osakoromora, JOK, out of Notre Dame. He is, another highly ranked linebacker. And some people actually I heard compare kind of linebacker to running back, where you want to wait and just take one later, and there's more guys that you can get. But some of these elite guys, I think they're going to go. So let me see. My New York one.
New York.
That's pleasant.
I know. I
Easy
tried
on
to
the
err
ears.
on pleasant instead of just being negative and trashing the Giants.
Can we be negative about the Eagles next, though?
All right. So the Philadelphia Eagles, I actually have them taking wide receiver Jalen Waddle.
What wide receiver are they going to ruin?
So Jalen Waddle, I've actually heard some people saying that they don't feel like he fits the scheme there exactly. Maybe they try to trade back and get a different guy like Rashad Bateman or something like that. Or maybe they go ahead and try and target a wide receiver in the second round.
Right.
Eagle!
But, man, yeah, you're right. The Eagles, they have a lot of concerns, a lot of things that they need to address. And they could honestly take anybody, because every position is basically a position in need.
Anybody but Jamar Chase to the Eagles, which now that they traded down is super unlikely that they get him. But that was everybody's fear. It's like, please, Eagles, don't ruin Jamar Chase's career by drafting him. They had Devontae Smith written all over him, though, early on. And that would be so much worse.
All right, so at number 13, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Your team.
I like the Chargers.
Yeah.
A lot of the mocks I've seen have them going offensive linemen, and in this draft, Rashawn Slater falls down to him. A lot of drafts have him going a little bit earlier. A lot of drafts I have looked at have Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech, going there. But Slater, he's a lot of people kind of in their top two. Some have even said better than Sewell, but he's a little bit lighter. It's similar arm length. But if he goes, again, they're just trying to build that offensive line. They signed, is it Kirksey?
Christian Kirksey?
Yeah, Christian Kirksey, center from the Packers. So they're building up that line, and that's part of why I like just...
I said Herbert threw for over 4,000 with
a bad line.
With a bad line, exactly. So
might
he
have
had
been
no
the
running
secret.
back, really.
Yeah.
He had the Bellagio out there.
The only thought would be, he was so good with the bad line. Well, why don't we get other pieces and just let him keep being good behind the bad line?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with them. But a lot of teams have them going with Slater or Darrisaw if they fall down there. Next one up, a team that's a little bit interesting, the Minnesota Vikings. So I like it.
Why shouldn't it just be Skull?
Light of the Valkyrie. I did try to get the horn, but it was less personality than I wanted from the horn. It was like,
That's fair.
I wanted more of a brr, 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 brr.
I think you can probably just get any horn and people would be able to
I wanted a Viking horn, Nick.
kill the wabbit.
Yes. So
There you go.
if every cultural reference is from Bugs Bunny, then you're with a lot of us.
Yes.
But the Minnesota Vikings, I like them taking an edge, so I went with Kwity Paye. I like Kwity Paye, defensive end out of Michigan. I think his ma immigrated from Africa, some part of war-torn Africa, when they were young, and she works 2 jobs, and she would only take off Saturdays so she could watch him play, and he's seems like a good guy.
He's got no quitty.
He's going to have that money. Hopefully his mom can quit her job and just watch football every day. She can subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, you and Miss Paye, hit that button.
Exactly.
But no, Quiddy, yeah, he's got a lot of talent. I like him a lot. I would love him to be on the Bears, but I don't think he's going to fall near that far.
Yeah, probably not going to happen.
So in this particular draft, we have a quarterback who we haven't mentioned yet who fell, and that is Mack Jones. McCorkle Jones, his actual name, quarterback out of Alabama.
To the Patriots?
To the New England Patriots. They go ahead. They maybe don't
Pocket.
have to play him right away. We'll see what Pocket thinks.
What do you feel about it? I'm feeling he's not going to be a fan.
So one reason that I don't think the Patriots are going to trade up to get him, because at his pro day, have you seen he overthrows the guy and it's just Belichick shaking his head.
It is good.
But again, I imagine he shakes his head at phenomenal players all the time. Tom Brady probably got the head shake now and then. But they were at the pro day, which is worth mentioning. And if he falls there, I think you take the shot.
Yeah, probably. It's such an important position that until you have a quarterback, you don't have anything else. Pocket. No. Food's too good in Massachusetts. Mac went last year before sending the fan camp. Fair enough. I figured you wouldn't be happy about it. I feel like everybody's trying to avoid Mac Jones on their team, and I mean, nobody really knows.
It would be the Bearsiest thing to do to trade up just high enough to get Mac Jones, and then Mac Jones sucks.
Yeah.
But maybe saving the
Honestly,
Patriots.
I would rather do that than some of these other ideas.
Well, you got to like him if he falls to 15 a lot better than trading up to 7 or 8.
For sure.
Now.
It costs a lot less.
All right, so the next team on the board, we have the Arizona Cardinals.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
And they are going with cornerback Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech.
This should just be exclusively Will Ferrell drops.
A lot of them are if you've watched our show.
All right, who is he taking? Who are they taking?
So, anyways, Caleb Farley, cornerback, and a lot of people said that he could have been the number one cornerback prospect on the board, but he had some back injuries.
He's way down here at 31, though.
So, again, the concerns are injury-related, and I think Arizona, they can take the chance on him. He checked out all his medicals so far, and I think they could actually get a good value for him taking him here, even though if you do look at some boards and some rankings, I think people are low because of the injury concerns.
Pocket says Mac Jones is the next Jared Lorenzen. That guy, do you know who Jared Lorenzen is?
I do not. You'll have to educate us all.
Pocket, what was the team he played for? It was like the Gator Backs or some weird. He was just like this 350, 400-pound just fat guy, just launching bombs. I think he just died last year from a heart attack or something at like 34 years old.
This is a sad story.
Oh my goodness! I feel like we got to get a picture of Jared Lorenzen on the here. I'll show you Jared Lorenzen here.
Like no one needs that, but some people have said that about my drops, so you got to go with your heart.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, he's not that big. Come on.
The River Monsters. The River
Monster picture has him a lot larger than. Did he have? What was it? Was there one with him on the Giants?
Yeah, he was in the NFL.
Oh, okay. No, I do remember seeing.
Yeah,
some big man quarterback in it.
Golly.
Why not?
What an absolute unit!
Hey, just tearing down the walls.
That armband won't even fit on him.
Breaking the stigma. That is actually a diabetes pump. No, that's all right. I can stand to lose a couple lbs myself before going out and playing quarterback, but maybe next year.
All right,
next
Raiders.
one we have the Oakland Raiders going with running back Najee Harris. I'm just trolling you because we have a bet that Josh Jacobs will finish outside of the top 14 running backs. I do not believe that is the case. Las Vegas is another team that could just use all kinds of help in all kinds of areas. I think it would be smart for them to take an offensive lineman as they got rid of a lot of theirs. However, many of the mocks I've seen have them going defense, so they need edge. They could use linebacker. They could probably use cornerback. But Jalen Phillips, defensive man out of Miami, we have going there. Jalen Phillips, he's had a couple concussions in his history. I worry about the guys in the trenches a little bit more with the concussions and kind of the wide receivers and things like that. But it is a concern. However, his talent is elite. He throws guys around.
I don't even see him on my list. He's down here at 40. Where are you pulling these guys from?
That's right. I'm telling you my mock draft.
Man, oh man. Just deep diving into this.
Yep.
What's your accuracy percentage on this, do you think?
I would love to see because I think there'll be more trades in the actual NFL draft. I think that'll throw everything off. It's got a domino effect, but I'll bet I hit on some of these. I'll tell you some that I think make sense to me, and I want credit even if they go in a later round and to the same team.
Okay.
All right. So Jalen Phillips to the Raiders.
Need help calling the right play on game day? Call me at the Gruden Hotline. Gruden Hotline.
A real grinder, Jalen Phillips.
Yeah.
All right, next one we have on the board here. We have the Miami Dolphins going again. So And they get lucky with Christian Darrisaw dropping down to him, offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. I like him a lot. Just not much to say. Offensive lineman, help protect. Protect that Tua. Let him throw it to Jalen.
Yeah, Tua's bad. Tua is bad.
Yeah, maybe again, if you draft him a first-round offensive lineman and a first-round wide receiver, though, can't hurt.
No, it can't hurt.
All right, next one on the board.
I like how you just worked that in again, just for good measure.
Just a little, not the whole.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Who's gonna steal the Bears player away from the Bears here at?
Actually,
19?
we have the Washington football team right before the Chicago Bears at 20, and they elect to go not wide receiver because again they've got a couple guys that have been injured. They've got some young guys who I think they're waiting to take a step forward. I believe. No, I think it was the Raiders, but the Raiders and Washington are both kind of in that same boat where they drafted a couple guys that had some names and they just haven't materialized. Maybe they take a step forward. But the Washington football team...
Ron, it's just picking him out of the hat.
They go ahead and take Azeez Ojulari, outside linebacker out of Georgia, and they're just building that defense, kind of trying to do like Denver a little bit. But Denver has offensive pieces.
But I mean, so does Washington.
They do.
They have Gibson who look good, and then they have Scary Terry.
Yeah.
I mean, both those guys are solid.
I do believe they could take a wide receiver later in the draft, just not in the first round. So
I mean, they signed Curtis Samuel. I mean, they don't have a great wide receiver core, but they have
Terry and Curtis are passable, and if you take another guy, later in the draft,
I'd say they're probably in the 10 to 14 range.
Maybe Gandy Golden takes a step forward.
Who?
Gandy Golden, Antonio Gandy Golden, sleeper.
All right. Who did the Bears bust on here?
So the Bears, we
got to hear the drop first.
Again, they could use a cornerback. So I just kept our regular Bears for this one.
The Bears.
I need to have like 4 different levels of enthusiasm ready for the actual night of, but
you got to have they are who we thought they were.
All right, our Chicago Bears, our team. If you're new to us, Nick and I,
Najee Harris.
We are homers. It'd be interesting. But Chicago goes ahead and takes Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota, and basically, just to help that offense, try and give the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, the rifle.
The Red Rifle.
Some targets.
Pocket says Bears need a D tackle. The Bears need a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Starting with a quarterback.
Again, I think I would like them to go offense here, but cornerback I'd be okay with. Offensive tackle I'd be okay with. Bateman, though, he's just a good prospect, and hopefully he can fill in when I've already forgotten his name. The wide receiver we just re-signed. I got Alshon in my head.
Allen Robinson?
Allen Robinson. When Allen Robinson moves on next year,
then
hopefully Rashad can take that place.
Assuming Russell Wilson's not our quarterback next year.
There you go.
2022. Russell Wilson.
You never know.
All right, Colties.
Next one we got. Yep, the Indianapolis Colts.
You know what it's called? It's called winning. It's called being a champion.
Dalton to Bateman, killer combo.
So they take Gregory Rousseau, a defensive end out of Miami, and he was actually pretty high on a lot of people's boards, and then he came out and had a bad pro day. Of all the guys that I've seen that had, a falling kind of pro day, just didn't do great in a lot of his agility drills, but if you've seen him, the guy looks like he could run you over.
I feel like everybody's had a phenomenal pro day. How do you even have a pro day when there's no pro days?
So it's even more alarming. However, Indy is the kind of team that I think, they could take the chance on him, and they develop talent a little bit better than some of the other teams.
They do.
All right, next one we got on the board, the Tennessee Titans.
The Tennessee Titans could be a pretty dramatic team this year. I mean, they lost a lot of pieces this offseason.
That is true. So, again, they lost their secondary wide receiver. They lost tight end, but they also have some defense. Like, their defense was kind of middle of the road.
Quick little nugget. Do you think A.J. Brown just gets, 40 more targets this year?
Like, period, or 40 more than last year?
40 more than last year.
A.J. Brown? Does he have a team? Like what? For what team?
What do you mean?
I was on a different page than you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it could easily be more targets for him. I was thinking Antonio.
No.
Okay.
No. He's on my team.
I got you. I thought that's why you were asking.
Yeah. No. I think A.J. Brown with Corey Davis going away and they can't afford anybody else unless they draft a receiver. I think A.J. Brown could get.
I have concerns about A.J. Brown. He just had a double leg surgery in the offseason, which nobody seems to be talking about. He had a lot of games where he went down, looked like he was going to be out the whole game.
Right.
Credit to his toughness, just Frankensteined his way back up and went out and scored another touchdown.
Well, I just think all the teams are so worried about Derrick Henry, it kind of leaves him the opportunity to get these long touchdowns.
I think it can if they get another guy who can catch the ball, but I do worry that they, could become a little bit one-dimensional, but they do it well. They did a lot of things off of play action. They have a new offensive coordinator. We'll see how that looks. I have concerns about A.J. Brown, but I do like Derrick Henry a lot.
You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
So I have them taking Christian Barmore, defensive tackle out of Alabama, and just kind of shore up that line and be a little bit tougher against the run.
It's fair.
Not a sexy pick, but there it is.
They need somebody to stop Derrick Henry in practice. All right, the Jets.
All right, Jets, they get their next pick in the first round. They take J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. Some people have him as high as the second cornerback on their board.
But we need the drop again.
It's a long jump.
I mean,
that team sure did suck last night.
There you go. So, again, I will take them there. The next one, Pittsburgh, they could take an offensive tackle, but they need help at center. So I have them reaching a little bit for this one.
Najee Harris.
A lot of people do have Najee Harris going there, and it could happen. I'm starting to believe that maybe they just pulled the trigger on it, but their offensive line, even if Najee goes there, people will be hyped on him, thinking that the Steelers have the offensive line that they had in the past, and they don't.
They don't.
They've had guys retire. They've had guys get injured. So maybe they get one of them back that was injured.
I mean, we're talking Lev Bell was, 3 or 4 years ago now? I mean, it's been...
Yeah,
It's been a RB career's worth of time in between.
They were awful running the ball last year. You can blame the running back, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it wasn't just the running back's fault.
How about both?
All right, so Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
We just got DMCA.
That's probably the one that gets us kicked off for the copyright. I don't know how long can you go?
I don't know.
But Creed Humphrey, center out of Oklahoma, again, bit of a reach, but
what a name though.
I think he's got a good skill set.
What a name. Pocket says Barmore is who the Bears should draft instead of the 5th best wide receiver. That just is not what the Bears do, though. Why make a smart pick when you can make a stupid pick?
Again, I think Bateman fits the system. But I agree. I think that there are a lot of guys that could also fit their system that they could get in a later round. But
for sure.
I think the pressure is on them to get that offense going.
I think somebody's going to get a steal in Terrence Marshall, too. I like me some Terrence Marshall.
Yep. And again, I don't have him going in the first round here.
That's fine.
So next one we have going.
Sleep on him, Mike.
Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Fun times in Cleveland again.
The Jaguars at 25. Did we skip
I'm sorry. I skipped the Jaguars.
I mean, I get it.
So they take a linebacker,
Najee Harris.
Zaven Collins. Just shore up the defense a little bit. That he could use some defensive help.
They're going to take a running. They don't have a running back.
So Jacksonville could take a running back here, but I don't think they will. I don't think they'll take one in the first round. I think maybe they'll get one of those mid-tier guys in the later round. But I could definitely see them taking a running back. I get it.
I think I heard a stat like Josh Jacobs this year will be still like 1 year younger than Najee Harris or something like that. Some ridiculous number.
Najee's a little bit older.
Yeah.
But
all right, Brownies, 26.
All right, so here's my Cleveland draft again for you.
Fun times in Cleveland again.
Oh, man. Cincinnati.
All right, the Cleveland Browns, a lot of people have them taking defense, and I like Jason Away, defensive end out of Penn State. I think he'd kind of be a little bit of a steal here. If they can just put another guy on the opposite side of Myles Garrett and just rush all day, I think they can win with rushing the ball with their two stud running backs and playing good defense.
Yeah. They're going to be a non-sexy football team this year, I think.
But
Baker brings some flash, but
Cleveland winning, even if they win ugly, has a certain charm and
yeah.
Is Cleveland actually
like the
good?
Cubs before they won? Just like the lovable losers. They're like the
less likable.
They're like the Titans. You forget about them, and especially now, it's like you forget about them. Then they're 8-8. They're not the worst team now, but hey,
Cleveland kind of
really move the
Chicago's ugly cousin in a lot of ways.
I get it. Yeah,
all right.
I get it.
Next one on the board, we have the Baltimore Ravens. You'll like this, Strap.
I was running.
Most rush attempts in the NFL last year. I tried to get the Ravens saying nevermore, but I couldn't find it with a bird voice. It was all like
Fair
depressing.
You can make your own.
Depressing poets. I could, but I don't have the soundboard at home.
That's true.
And I also I was running. So they go with Deo Eguibingbo. I didn't mean to Edingbo.
Why did you even try it? What's his nickname?
D.O., defensive end out of Vanderbilt. And
you butchered that so hard, I don't even know what name you said to find it up.
I've seen Ajulari.
Where's it at?
But again, it's a little bit
like
of
you
a
didn't
reach.
even try. I feel like you didn't even
All
try.
right. But again, I apologize to the man. But another one I've seen going there is Aziz Ajulari, the outside linebacker, dropping down there.
How far down do I have to go to find this guy? What position does he play? How do you spell
defensive
his last
end.
name?
Odeyyingbo.
All right, here we go. 130.
All right. Again,
130.
You're using a different list than some of the ones I was using.
This is the website you recommended.
Yeah, but again, the website.
Kids these days.
Oh, it's like when you do a mock draft on a lot of these.
Najee Harris has been sitting up here for like 15 picks. You know.
So I don't have Najee going. Well, actually, no. I take that back. We're gonna keep going here.
All right.
All right. Next one I have on the board: safety going to New Orleans, the Saints.
Is that the Drew Brees parade?
Yep.
The retirement parade.
The retirement parade. Trevon Mooring, safety out of TCU, first safety off the board, highest ranked safety, and I think that it would just be a smart Saints move. It's like, all right, well, we're a little bit later in this first round. We're just going to take the best guy at this other position.
Fair.
Their safeties are decent. Their whole defense is getting older. They have some cap issues, so
they're going to kind of need a reset year. I think they're going to see what they have in Jameis Winston this season, and then kind of like reevaluate after the year and get some of this cap off the.
I would agree. I have seen a couple mocks where they're taking a wide receiver, but I think they're going to go defense.
They're going to be like the Patriots of last year.
Fair enough.
Or the Patriots of this year.
All right. So again, the next one on the board at 29, the Green Bay Packers didn't do a mean drop.
I love cheese. I love cheese. I love cheese.
There you go, Green Bay.
I mean,
who doesn't love some cheese?
You gotta like that one. I thought we were gonna get like a Rodgers on Jeopardy drop there or something.
No, he's not charismatic enough to earn one. But
yeah, people are loving him on the. On
people
Jeopardy.
are loving the fans like making football jokes and him just standing there like, "Oh, I'm Aaron Rodgers." But I don't know.
Oh man! All right, who are they taking?
So
Najee Harris.
They are actually taking Quinn Miners, center out of Wisconsin Whitewater. And Miners, I have seen a lot of people have a second-day grade on him, but he feels like the most Green Bay player that I have seen in the draft so far. There's videos of him, I believe, in like a fishery that his parents own in Canada, just punching trees and lifting like logs and chopping wood.
How do you spell it?
Meinerz.
There we go.
He just feels like a guy who should be on Green Bay. And really his claim to fame is he had a good Senior Bowl, and that's kind of where people started to take notice of him. So, again, an offensive piece. You know, it's not the sexy wide receiver, but a center. That's still something where you're like, all right, at least they're trying to help Rodgers out a little bit. They did lose their center, so.
For sure.
I'm just connecting dots here. Next one on the board, we have
Buffalo.
The Buffalo Bills.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
All right. That is Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs, the Buffalo Bills. Rubbing the lotion on Najee Harris.
If you're a gambler at all, you could also use the Buffalo drop from Buffalo Gold, which is just Buffalo, which is also a good one.
I don't think you can improve upon perfection, and that's the best drop on the board right now.
Eli loved it.
All right, thank you, Eli. We got to appeal to the masses here.
Najee Harris?
Najee Harris. So there are not a lot of mocks where they'd go ahead and pull the trigger on a running back, but I'll make the case for him. So the first... They did sign Matt Breida. Matt Breida couldn't even play for the Dolphins and beat out, what even was the Dolphins running back name? I already forget.
Salvin Ahmed. Then they have Gaskin.
Matt Breida got cut from the Dolphins, right? Just straight let go.
Unreal.
And so people are like, oh, they wouldn't have signed him if they're going to get a running back. That's not the guy you bring in to, like, that's maybe a, hey, let's just see how this guy
we're
looks.
We're going to kick the tires. Same with Jordan Howard.
Zach Moss, constantly injured. I wanted him to be good. I drafted him in a lot of places last year. He was okay. He was serviceable, but he just wasn't the guy who was going to really get your running game going.
He was the touchdown guy, except for he wasn't because Kyle. What did I say? Kyle Allen.
Josh Allen. Decided in a previous episode it's Kyle, but no. Josh Allen. Josh looks like a Kyle Allen. Guy. His new nickname is Kyle. Kyle was the Panthers quarterback for a hot second there, so maybe that's what we got stuck.
He was first. No, he wasn't.
Agreed.
He was second.
So, anyways,
Kansas City. Last two here.
And again, Devin Singletary, maybe they can trade Moss or Singletary because they're not useless, but they're not the guys.
They took him back-to-back years too, right?
And again, I think Najee just being that big body, a guy that can punch it in, I think that it would really help their offense just be more well-rounded, take it to the next level. I think a big part of what kind of hurt them in the playoffs was that lack of running game. They could air it out. They did a great job, but again, people are just saying they're not going to carry 4 running backs, and they've already got 3 that they like. I think that if Najee is staring in the face at 30, and that team has a pretty good defense, their wide receiver core is intact, their quarterback, they're set. Like, I like it. It's just let's pull the trigger and try and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And they're in win now mode. So next one we got 31. We have the Kansas City Chiefs.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
And they go ahead and go with Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle out of Michigan. Again, just a little more protection for my boy, Patty Mahomes. Never going to give you up. And the last one we have on the board, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go with Joseph Asai, outside linebacker out of Texas. Just, adding to that defense.
I hate Tom Brady so much, but I have no legit reason to. He's a nice guy, but I hope they break his leg.
So the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers going ahead and grabbing a defensive piece.
All right, I picked the last player, so I went to the new screen here, which says we successfully finished the first-round draft.
Oh, great success. We
got an F grade.
All right. Again, that happens when you do any kind of mock draft on
There's
anything.
no grade. I just gave it an F.
So again, we'll see. Now we have a record of it, and you can be like, "Wow, Mike, that guy got taken in the 7th round." So I actually saw a mock draft where one of my guys, the Canadian, give me a second, running back that I like.
Which one?
Tip of my tongue. The speedy guy had 2,000 yards 2 years ago, and then had a bad year last year.
What? In the NFL?
And then college. He's a rookie.
I know who you're talking about. Man, we should be better.
Chuba Hubbard. All right, it was in there.
We got there.
They had Chuba going in the 7th round of the NFL draft.
Really?
So again, you can look
Chubby. Thanks, man.
If you look at all these different drafts, there is a wide variety of different opinions and people taking people at different places. Just another little note, if you go into the 2nd round and you look at kind of the top of the 2nd round, there are a lot of teams that could use a running back. So it's a little early for running back, but it wouldn't shock me if a couple of the big names go off there. So a lot of us just watch for the offense, but
Warwick, thanks for the sub.
Appreciate it.
5 months or stupid internet joke time. Why did the poor quarterback have his receivers cross at midfield? He was trying to make ends meet. What does the Minnesota Vikings fan do when their team has won the Super Bowl? They turn off the PS5.
Heyo. You have the rim shot?
I don't know. No.
There it is.
There we go.
All right.
Trevor's team will be good. I could see in the right spot him being productive. I'm not fading him.
Yeah. So if we were just going to really quick touch on a couple places where running backs could go in the 1st round, again, Buffalo I think could pull the trigger. Jacksonville's a team that could use one. Green Bay, they probably won't go running back. Kansas City and Tampa Bay, they could take a guy at the end of the 1st.
Thanks for the hoster.
But yeah, Jalen Mayfield, again, just Kansas City and Tampa Bay sitting there at the back. If you've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if you've got Ronald Jones,
right.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers did sign Gio Bernard since we were last on, and I think if anything, that makes you feel better about the guys if you have, Leonard Fournette or Rojo, that they might not be going at the running back spot with this pick at least.
Yeah, but now there's just another name in the room.
And he can be the pass down guy, but again, doesn't scare you too much as far as just taking the job away fully from either of those guys.
But yeah, Falcons, Dolphins.
And the Jets sitting there at 23.
Jets.
It would be a Jetsy thing to reach too far for a running back. But a lot of these teams have picks pretty early in the 2nd round. So watch for it there. I'm excited for day 2 for some of the big offensive pieces that are going to be relevant in Dynasty. But there it is. That's my NFL mock draft.
Well done.
We'll see how it goes. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate the chat for hanging out. If you feel strongly about anything and you watch us on YouTube, it's like, Mike, you took a guy who should have gone in the 8th round. You go ahead and just leave a comment. Tell me I'm a fool.
Flame them there.
If you love my picks, if you think the reaches, the sleepers are just perfect picks.
Pocket, you guys going to be on draft night? That's a great question.
Yes, the plan as of right now, and again, now that we have 1,000 kids and are sick every day, things could change, but we are planning on streaming the 1st round of the NFL draft. We'll be just on live. We will react. We'll try not to spoil it for you, but we have done in the past where I've just done it with buddies, and like we've had a lot of people on, and a lot of people, the picks are coming in at different times, right. So we'll have to figure out. Maybe
we'll work on like a guest list. Maybe we'll have to do like a call in and work on some type.
I know there are some people that are interested, but yeah, we'll have the first round for you is the plan.
Perfect. Yeah.
So the drops will be back.
Drops will be back. Maybe improved. Maybe, like you said, sometimes you just can't improve on perfection.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
All right. So rub the lotion on the likes and subscribes or else you get the hose again. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. We'll see you. Are we going to stream next Tuesday or just the draft on Thursday?
Well, because we missed the last week, we might try and give you a bonus episode.
We'll let you know in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord already, I think we're all with Discord people right now, but I will post the link here. Copy the link. Post it in the chat. There you go. Join the Discord if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming out. Have a good one.